One thing I've been doing for sure is drinking a lot of chamomile tea. Hello, Pepper. Pepper is photobombing me again. It seems like a regular activity with her. Between February and July, I basically had a lot of time to think about things. And there's Jax. Well, hello, Mr. Jax. Oh, what was that about? Oh, dear. I had a lot of time to think about things. Thankfully, I had friends. Don't drink my tea. No, you don't want that. It's hot. Jax was trying to drink my chamomile. Jax, silly boy. You go through things that are very, very similar to PTSD. I had a reactionary response to people when I went out in public. People that were loud, I jumped out of my skin. People that got too close to me without personal boundaries, I jumped out of my skin. I became afraid of things that normally wouldn't bother me at all. And I'm not one to be afraid of anything. Let me just say that. It was not a good feeling. I felt out of control. And I felt like nobody could understand unless they had been through what I was going through. My mother was the #1 supporter during this time. She really came through for me. I really needed somebody to talk to, and she listened every single day. She listened to my story. Even though she had heard it 100,000 times, she was there for me, and she lent me her shoulder, and she lent me her ear. And that meant the world to me because, and I feel bad for unloading on her, but she embraced it. And she embraced me, and she was the positive light in my world when I needed a positive light. Because truthfully, I'm usually a positive light. But going through burnout, going through abuse in corporate America, it's not a pretty scene. It breaks you down. It breaks you right down to the core. It breaks you down to your bones. It breaks you down mentally. It breaks you down physically. And what comes next is all about the healing. The healing is what comes next. In July, my mother went missing. Now, some of you may have seen that story on my YouTube channel here. I posted about it. All that we found of her was her coffee mug on the steps, and she was gone. I was already dealing with burnout and symptoms similar to PTSD, and now my mother went missing. It made me feel paranoid. She was found. She was safe. It turned out that she was diagnosed with mild dementia, but it's a long story, which I won't get into here. It turns out that she is now back on the proper medication, and because of that, she's doing better again. But after February to June, and then my mother missing in July, I started a YouTube channel in August. I thought this would help me get through these tough days. This will help me get over it, cope with it, move on from it. This will help me get myself up off the couch. If I have something to focus on and something to do, I'll be able to do this so I can get through it and get better. I'm pleased to say that a couple days ago, for the first time, I walked out of my house smiling from ear to ear for no reason at all. Over the course of months, I've had to force myself to be happy. I've had to force myself to put a smile on my face. I uploaded a YouTube video recently about how I made 100 videos. And I realized in all those videos, I hardly smiled at all. And I said in my next 100 videos, I'm going to make a point of smiling more. But now I'm doing it naturally. Through this diet I'm doing, the oxalate diet, My pain is slowly recovering. I had joint problems, terrible, terrible, terrible arthritis and other joint problems. That's, I would say, probably 85% gone. I still have a very tiny bit of problems in my thumbs, but that too is going away. So I'm very pleased to report that. It's all about healing from within. It's about finding the strength. That's Oreo. Oreo, we're up here, dear. Come on up and say hi. It's about healing from within and finding the strength when you don't feel like it to just get through it. There were many days where I wanted to just stay on that couch and I couldn't get up and get moving. There were many days where I wanted nothing to do with society at all. Because it reminded me too much of my office job. It reminded me too much of the people that were coming in and the abuse I felt from the managers. It reminded me, it was like I was reliving it every day to go out anywhere, Walmart, shopping, grocery store, anywhere I went, it felt like that. So I was staying home a lot. I wasn't putting myself out there. And it's a good thing. I didn't need to put myself out there. But it's a good thing I did that because all it did was make me angrier and more resentful. Thank you so much for watching today. Take care.